Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV AM News. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyag Mofwebe. Our sincere apologies for that technical hitch with our audio. Thank you so very much for your understanding. The political crisis in Rivers State appears set for a resolution after the parties involved signed a peace deal at a meeting held at the Presidential Villa, Abuja on Monday. The meeting, called by President Bola Tinubu, was attended by Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, and other political leaders in the state. Aside Fubara and Wike, others who signed the resolution document include the PDP chairperson in Rivers State, Aaron Chukwuemeka, and the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Amawole. The resolution was also signed by Rivers Deputy Governor Ngozi Odu and a factional Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Martin Chike. The APC chairperson in Rivers and the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, also signed the document. President Bola Tinubu has said the federal government is taking measures to alleviate the high cost of transportation by granting waivers to operators in the air, road, and rail transportation systems. The president gave the assurance during a meeting with members of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. According to a statement issued by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajure Ngelale, the consideration was as a result of the challenges faced by travelers during the festive season. Some youths suspected to be from the northern part of the country on Tuesday took to the streets in Shagamu area of Ogun State, protesting what they termed injustice in the Kano State governorship election. The youths, majority of whom were commercial motorcycles, joined by some teenagers, stormed the streets to express concern over growing tension in Kano ahead of the Supreme Court judgment on the legal battle challenging Governor Abba Yusuf's election. The Supreme Court has fixed Thursday for hearing on the disputed election. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja upheld the sack of Yusuf of the new Nigeria People's Party (NNPP), declaring Nasiru Gawuna of the All Progressives Congress (APC) the duly elected governor. Earlier, the judgment of the State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal had declared Gawuna the winner of the state governorship election held on March 18. The northern youths residing in Shagamu called for caution in handling the governorship crisis to avoid bloodshed. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has said the 2024 budget would be passed on Saturday, December 30, 2023. He said this as the House resumed plenary on Tuesday, December 19. This was as he passed a message from the Committee on Appropriations to various committees of the House that they must conclude and submit their reports of the budget defense by agencies of government by 8 p.m. yesterday, December 19, 2023. The Speaker said other budget-related activities, including compilation, processing, and harmonization, would take place between the week. A federal high court sitting in Abuja has granted former terrorist negotiator Tukaram Mamu access to his doctor. Mamu had, in a motion and notice, sought the leave of the court to have access to his doctor following his deteriorating health conditions. He also asked the court to order the Department of State Services, DSS, to take him for surgical procedures as recommended by both his Egyptian and Nigerian doctors. The federal government, in a counter-affidavit through its lawyer, David Kaswe, had opposed the application. Kaswe stated that the DSS had a functional medical facility and a team of medical doctors who could handle his case. He then urged the court not to grant the application, looking at the circumstances of the charge against him. Ruling on the matter on Tuesday, Justice Yang Eko asked Kaswe if the defendant was entitled to his physician. Gunmen on Monday kidnapped a High Court judge in the Oron local government area of Akwa Ibom State, Justice Joy Owana, and her driver. It was gathered that her orderly was killed in the attack which occurred along Uyo Okobo Road. The chairman, Oron branch of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, Tarosco Eyene, who confirmed the development on Tuesday, said the judge was kidnapped along Okobo Axis on our way to Uyo, the state's capital, after a court sitting. He disclosed that members of the association have scheduled a meeting with the State Commissioner of Police and Department of State Services on Wednesday. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Odiko McDunn, described the incident as unfortunate, adding that the CP has ordered a discreet investigation into the incident. And time to look at other stories for you. In order to ameliorate the housing deficit in Nigeria, Controller General of Nigeria Customs Service, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, has announced the provision of 5,000 housing units for officers across the country. He made the announcement at the inauguration of housing scheme and symbolic handover of residences to beneficiaries to members of the Nigeria Customs Cooperative, which held at Ajoda in Ibadan. Kikelamo Okere has more.
The Comptroller General of Customs says the significant move is to address the housing struggles faced by its officers, as well as enhance living conditions for the officers and men of the Nigerian Customs Service. The Customs Chief reiterated his commitment to empower as well as invest in its personnel to ultimately propel them to give their all in the service to the nation.
It is with great pleasure that I extend a very sincere welcome to each of you on this momentous occasion, marking the inauguration of our housing scheme and the symbolic handover of residencies to beneficiaries, members of the Nigeria Customs Service Cooperative. Today serves as a very powerful testament to the unwavering commitments of Nigeria Customs Service management to reinforce the welfare framework for esteemed officers, their personnel, and their families. This significant strides towards the provision of secure housing is a strategic consolidation of past initiatives that has been put together to complement the overall welfare and well-being of our officers and men.
The housing scheme includes diverse residences such as 2-bedroom terrace bungalow and 3-bedroom terrace duplex strategically located in Lagos, Kaduna, Kano, Asaba, Masaka, Ibadan, Port Harcourt, and Abuja. The high point of the event was the symbolic handover of the housing units, which will help to instill loyalty, motivation, and sustain productivity among the workforce. Kikelamo Okere, Global Television News.
Niger State Governor Mohammed Bago has presented the 2024 budget estimates of 613.3 billion naira to the State's Assembly. Bago, who describes the budget as a budget of the future, said it would drive the government's program for a new Niger State. The governor presented the budget on Tuesday to lawmakers. At the budget presentation were government functionaries and the entire emir of the Emirate Councils. Bago announced to the audience that he should henceforth be called the farmer's governor, in line with his determination to transform the state into a leading farming state. The Speaker of the Niger State House of Assembly, Serikin Daji, in his remarks assured the governor and audience that the budget will be thoroughly screened and passed within 1 week. Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare has disclosed plans to review activities of primary health care and routine immunization. This was disclosed at a quarterly review meeting held in Abuja in collaboration with the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. Fozia Lukman has details.
The quarterly reviewing meeting is in conjunction with the Northern Traditional Leaders Committee on Primary Healthcare Delivery to make significant contributions to the development and strengthening of primary health care in Nigeria. The meeting saw major traditional rulers in attendance, with Dr. Saad Abubakar, the Sultan of Sokoto, in his remarks, saying,
"Issues of vaccine like the HPV and whatever it is, we will at the closed door meeting discuss such things, see what we can do. But there are already some controversies, people writing things in the social media. So at the closed door meeting, inshallah, we'll discuss some of these issues, see how we will also arrive at what we should tell our people. We are the representatives of the people."
Speaking on reducing diseases through primary healthcare services, the Minister of Health and Social Welfare said preparations are underway for retraining 120,000 frontline health workers.
Some of what we are going to do in the period ahead includes building the frontline health workforce. We are planning, in fact, as we speak, preparations are underway for retraining of 120,000 frontline health workers at the primary healthcare level. We're expanding the primary healthcare facilities that will receive direct facility financing from roughly about 8,000 at the moment which we would work to make functional to start with, and expanding them to 17,000, almost 18,000 by the end of 4 years.
Meanwhile, the Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Muyi Aina, told reporters that the agency is on health system revamp project, adding that barriers need to be removed for the usage of the services.
There are accessibility issues. How do we make sure the services are taken to them and they can reach it? For specifically to outbreaks that you mentioned, the responsible thing to do is what we are doing. We are mounting outbreak responses in terms of campaigns, but it's one thing to do campaigns, it's another thing to do a good campaign. You cannot do a good campaign without collaboration with the communities, that give you access, but that also mobilize the people to come out and receive the trusted interventions.
The critical role of traditional and religious leaders cannot be underestimated, as it serves as a bridge for engaging the people at the community level. Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News.
In the meantime, at least 4.7 million girls have been vaccinated against the human papillomavirus, also called HPV, in the first phase of the vaccine rollout in Nigeria. The rollout, which commenced in last October, aims to reach about 7.7 million teenage girls with the life-saving vaccine to protect them against cervical cancer and other related diseases. Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Muyi Aina, disclosed this at the fourth quarter 2023 review meeting of the Northern Traditional Leaders Committee on Primary Healthcare Delivery in Abuja. Aina said as of last week, about 4.7 million teenage girls had been reached with the vaccine across 14 states and the Federal Capital Territory, stating that although there was an initial strong pushback by anti-vaccine campaigners, the traditional leaders ensured accurate information reached parents, guardians, and adolescents. The Federal Capital Territory chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, has called on the National Assembly to enact laws specifically aimed at addressing and preventing organ trafficking in the country. Speaking at a press briefing in Abuja on Monday, Chairman of FCT NMA, Charles Ugwuanyi, said with specific laws, Nigeria can make efforts towards eradicating organ trafficking and protecting the well-being of its citizens. Ugwuanyi said the existing law governing organ transplants in the country is limited in depth and is unable to address emerging issues, noting that it only requires the donor to be above 18 years of age and the fact that there is no financial inducement for donation. The Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja has barred former Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Pauline Tallen, from holding public office. In a judgment delivered on Monday, the court condemned Tallen's disparaging comments against the judiciary concerning a decision of the Federal High Court in Adamawa State last year. The Federal High Court in Yola, Adamawa State capital, had nullified the candidacy of Aishatu Dahiru, widely known as Binani, as the All Progressives Congress's governorship candidate for the last election. However, Tallen was dissatisfied with the court verdict, a development she had described as a court kangaroo judgment, urging Nigerians to reject it. Delivering judgment on the case on Monday, the court described Tallen's statements as unconstitutional, careless, reckless, and disparaging. Former Minister of Power and Steel Olu Agonoye may soon face charges of corruption and forgery as he spends 6th consecutive day in detention after submitting himself to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Agonoye surrendered himself for interrogation on 13 December, a day after he was declared wanted by the Commission over corruption allegations regarding a failed multi-billion-dollar Mambila hydropower project. EFCC sources said the charges have been drafted and would soon be filed in court and served on the former minister. It's also believed that he was declared wanted because he jumped the administrative bail granted to him. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps FCT Command has arrested 2 suspected vandals of railway infrastructure and 11 illegal miners. This was contained in a statement signed by the command spokesman, Comfort Okamayi, on Tuesday. According to the statement, the 2 rail vandals were arrested by the operatives of the Critical National Assets and Infrastructure Unit, of the command, vandalizing trucks and traffic lights in the Uye area of the territory, while the command, in collaboration with the Nigerian Army, arrested the 11 suspects involved in illegal mining activities at Izam, a community located at the boundary of FCT and Niger State. Parading the suspects at the command, FCT Commandant Olushola Odumosu noted that the proactive measures taken by the command will serve as deterrents to other criminals within the territory. On the foreign scene now, no fewer than 61 migrants, including women and children, have drowned following a shipwreck off Libya. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, says the boat has set off from the Libyan city of Zwara with about 86 persons on board. The route offers migrants entry to Europe via Italy. The United Nations agency said most of the victims of the accident were from Nigeria, Gambia, and other African countries. International Organization for Migration spokesperson Flavio de Giacomo said more than 2,450 people died this year on the central Mediterranean migrant routes, adding that a dramatic figure which demonstrates that unfortunately not enough is being done to save lives at sea. Now, on business, some retired soldiers who fought on the side of the federal government during the Civil War have threatened to embark on a protest on January 15, 2024 over their unpaid pensions 40 years after the war. The veterans, in a statement by their National Coordinator Babawande Philip and National Secretary Okewu Bayo, lampooned the federal government for forsaking them despite their sacrifices to keep Nigeria one. Stating that they are displeased with the way the successive governments have treated them, they added that despite several letters and other entreaties to call the attention to their plight, they have been neglected. You're watching Global Television AM News, reaching you from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms using our Global TV NG and other handles, as you now see on your screen. The news returns shortly. Do stay with us. Television AM News, reaching you live from Nigeria's capital with Uyi Agumofwebe. The National Working Committee, NWC, of the People's Democratic Party has insisted that fresh elections be conducted to fill the 25 seats vacated by 25 of its lawmakers in the Rivers State Assembly. This was part of decisions taken after a meeting of the NWC in Abuja on Tuesday. Dignitaries from all walks of life arrived at the Sun Stadium to witness the official coronation and presentation of staff of office to the 21st Shon of Ogbomosho, Oba Gandhi Afolabi Olaoye. Leading the dignitaries was the former Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Ooni of Ife, Oba Enito Adeyeye Ogowose, Oluofori Ogiame Atuwashe III, the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Lekon Balogun, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, arrived to the venue alongside former Vice President. In a related development, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde on Tuesday presented the instrument of office and staff of office to the new show of Ogbomosho land, Oba Gandhi Olaoye, at the Ogbomoso Township Stadium in Ogbomoso. Makinde had approved the selection of Oba Olaoye from Olaoye Ruling House on September 2nd, while the kingmakers in the ancient town, led by the Arago of Ogbomosho High Chief Shobalaje Otolori, installed him on September 8th as the new son of Ogbomosho land. Makinde, while presenting the staff of office to the new son, said he will now hand over the instrument of office and staff of office to Oba Gandhi Olaoye Oromogege III. Let's jump to the foreign scene now, where the European Union has announced a formal infringement proceedings against Elon Musk's X platform under a law cracking down on illegal online contents, having identified disinformation related to Hamas's October 7 attacks in Israel. It is the first such step Brussels has taken against a major online platform since this year, introducing the Digital Services Act, a sweeping piece of EU legislation that cracks down on and heightens online companies' responsibility for content moderation. An explosion has rocked a fuel depot in the Guinean capital, Conakry, on Monday, injuring dozens of people, according to a doctor and local residents. The explosion, accompanied by a fire, occurred shortly after midnight in the administrative and business district of Kaloum, near the port, according to reports. The explosion sent a thick cloud of smoke into the sky on Monday morning as residents fled the area where the blast occurred. Witnesses said dozens of civil protection vehicles had reached the area, but Guinean authorities did not immediately comment on the situation. And that's it on Global TV AM News. So thank you everyone for watching Global Morning with Anthony Momodu. Now continue.